Today is Friday, September 2nd, 2022. Labor Day will be Monday, September 5th. It is a federal holiday. Most government employees will not show up. The mail will not be delivered. The trash will not be collected. All schools will be closed. Those that are at their jobs, whether government or in private business, will be paid more. The next election-related event is scheduled for September 6th and is Massachusetts' statewide primary. After that, nothing is scheduled in the U.S. until the 13th. The National Weather Service says record-breaking heat will still impact the West and more scattered thunderstorms and flooding across the big middle of the U.S., down to Texas. At least, a hurricane might be coming. On TV, today, the first 2 episodes of The Rings of Power debuts on Prime Video, and a new episode of C, on Apple Plus, is coming out. The only big movie opening this weekend is still Honk for Jesus Save Your Soul. It is rated R and it looks to be a slow weekend otherwise. Still in many theaters are Spider-Man No Way Home, The Invitation, Beast, Bullet Train, Top Gun Maverick, 3,000 Years of Longing, Barbarian, Thor Love and Thunder, Nope, and even a re-release of Jaws. Feel free to ask out a chick with grabby hands and no self-esteem. Life's short. Today some semi-famous people had a birthday. Mark Harmon turned 71. Keanu Reeves turned 58. Salma Hayek turned 56. Jimmy Clanton is 84. Rosalind Ashford is 79. Linda Pearl is 67. Paul Deakin is 63. Tuck Watkins is 56. Cynthia Watro is 54. Cat Williams is 49. Michael Lombardi is 48. Tiffany Hines is 45. Sam Rivers is 45. Jonathan Kite is 43. Joshua Henry is 38. And there's a good-sized list beyond that is also not important. On this day, in history, in 1666, the Great Fire in London broke out. It burned for 3 days, destroying 10,000 buildings. In 1901, Vice President Theodore Roosevelt coined the phrase, quote, "Speak softly and carry a big stick." In 1935, the Labor Day hurricane made landfall in Florida and killed 400 people. In 1987, the trial began in Moscow for Matthias Rust. He was a 19-year-old pilot from Finland. He'd started in Germany and landed in Red Square, in a Cessna. He got 4 years. He was pardoned after 18 months. In 1998, Swiss Air Flight 111 crashed in Nova Scotia, killing 229 aboard. In 2008, Google's Chrome browser was launched. In 2019, Hurricane Dorian hit the Bahamas and killed at least 5. Welcome to the 4th broadcast of the Gray News, where we bring you coverage of the latest stories both national and international. Please, like and subscribe. Please, share. Please, comment. Please, have a good day, even though the world is turning to rotting filth. In international news, in Afghanistan, the Afghan woman whose video pleaded, quote, "These may be my last words. He will kill me, but it is better to die once than to die every day," end quote, has been arrested. The Taliban announced her arrest and she is expected to soon be sentenced. She claiming that she was forced into marriage and repeatedly beaten and raped is apparently a crime, under the Taliban. She claimed she was making the video from an undisclosed location, in Kabul, where the Taliban were keeping her. She claims to have been captured after she had tried to flee the country. She had pleaded for rescue. She will not be rescued. In Poland, the Law and Justice Party of Poland has stated, on September 1st, that Poland will finally demand reparations for World War II. The Law and Justice Party has featured this sentiment since 2015. The Law and Justice Party hold about 30% of the voters and was founded in 2001. 6 million Poles died in World War II. The party has decided that Poland is owed an equivalent of $1.3 trillion US dollars. In 1953, communist-ruled Poland relinquished all claims to war reparations. Germany has continually made it clear that it considers all compensation claims to be settled. In Germany, pilots for Lufthansa are scheduled to go on strike today. Their union is demanding a 5.5% pay increase and automatic inflation adjustments starting in 2023. 5,000 pilots are expected to be involved. It is expected to cancel virtually all of the airline's cargo and passenger flights. 130,000 passengers are expected to be affected. In China, Chinese marriage rates and birth rates are both down. Changing attitudes toward marriage and fewer young people available due to China's previous attempts at controlling its population growth are both considered to blame. Young women are more educated, more financially independent, and feel more oppressed, apparently. In 2015, China ended its one-child policy, and in 2021, China instilled a three-child policy and ended its two-child policy, but the damage was already done and there are far fewer young adults now. The marriage rate is at its lowest point since the Chinese began keeping such statistics in 1986. Of course, China, Japan, and South Korea have all faced shrinking populations, shrinking birth rates, in recent years. They have all tried to create incentives to thwart this. They include cash vouchers, housing subsidies, and more child care support. These measures have not proven particularly successful. Out of the United Kingdom, nearly half of UK children are now growing up outside of the traditional two-parent family. 44% of those born since the year 2000 didn't have both biological parents in their entire childhood. This is up from 21% for children born in 1970. This study found that 90% of single-parent households are headed by women. Asian families were found to most likely be two-parent households. 22% of single-parent households were headed by white women, 57% were Black Caribbean women, and 44% were Black African women. The UK has a higher percentage of single-parent households than Europe. In Canada, two of the main Freedom Convoy organizers are expected to go on trial in September 2023 for charges relating to the Freedom Convoy protest. Downtown Ottawa was gridlocked and thousands of demonstrators had filled the streets, from the end of January, for 3 weeks. Big trucks and a plethora of other vehicles blocked roads around the parliamentary precinct. Horns blared. Fumes filled the air. Many described it as a state of lawlessness. Eventually, more and more protesters simply went home and left the few remaining to be arrested by large anonymous police units. The protest was claimed to be in regards to plague restrictions and exacerbated by a very poor economy. These two organizers are currently out on bond and are expected to be convicted as the rest of Canada watches passively. The trial is expected to take 18 days. In U.S. national news, a group of bipartisan House lawmakers are trying to introduce a new bill that claims to limit insider trading amongst those in Congress. Federal law has long since banned insider trading, which is largely defined as an employee or business buying or selling stock based upon proprietary information. Court rulings and regulations, over decades, have made the reach of the law broad enough to prosecute those in Congress and government otherwise. The stipulations of the Stock Act of 2012 were far more strenuous against those in Congress and has not been enforced either. They have not been enforced and will not be enforced. These are publicity stunts. For example, count on Nancy Pelosi, whose estate is estimated to be at about $250 million, to sign it. In closing, that's it for this episode of the Gray News. This has been Friday, September 1st, 2022. Thanks for listening. Please hit the like button. Please subscribe. Please leave a comment, good or insightfully distasteful. Please share. If you actually have a friend, tell him. And please have a good evening. The Gray News is accepting submissions. Please read the description of this video. Inquire about us, including your pictures for anniversaries, birthdays, dog, or slutty girlfriend. It might make a good 10 seconds of background still. Please join us next time. We'll be drunk again. We like drinking. Everyone likes drinking. Drinking. Good. See you then.